What's up, everybody? Happy Monday and welcome to Game Time here on the Game Time Sports Channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. That there is the Winston A. Marshall.
And the A stands for ashy, bro. That's why I'm fucking lotioning up, man. Damn.
And both of us are suffering like crazy after we were taking some last-minute losses in our quest to get into the playoffs. So we're going to do our best to soldier through this show and talk about all these games, including ours, and find a way to not cuss up a storm for an hour and a half. So, Winston A. Marshall, how you doing? How was your weekend? How you feeling, brother?
I would first like to rectify. I may have been upset about yesterday, but one of us finished our quest, all right? I just wanted a better playoff position. Another one of us is on the outside looking in.
You know, some of us like to win our way to the playoffs, but I get it. I get it. Maybe not everybody.
Like I'm part of the groomsmen. I'm not that last minute guest that got added because somebody dropped out. You know what I'm saying? I'm at least in the bridal groomsmen party. The question is, are we going to be the best man or are we going to be the actual husband? That's what I want to know. Like, are we going to walk out with a brand new ring or are we going to walk around being like, damn, man, good for you for getting that ring? Like, that's what I want to know.
It's a very, very good question. That's for sure.
But I'm good. My big thing, I guess, right now, we talked about this before about, my aunt having cancer and dealing with a new job and all that kind of stuff. So I've been behind. I got a treat for everybody. The Law and Order Sports Victims Units. I'm dropping like 4 in the next 2 days. One just came out like an hour ago. Good. That was for week 12. Week 13 should be out this evening when I finish editing. Week 14 will be out by tomorrow. And then week 15 this week, we're just wrapping up. Should also be out either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm figuring out what story I want to do. I don't know if I want to do, because week 13 is about y'all. It's about the tie that the Giants and Washington had. That's when true. I tell you this shit is hilarious. Like, I was laughing while I was recording it. I don't know whether to do y'all again for week 15 or if I go with the Raiders Patriots, because goddamn.
I mean, they got to go Raiders Patriots. I feel like you have to go Raiders Patriots, don't you?
I feel like I have to.
I mean, that makes the most sense in my mind. So I don't know how you don't do that, man, because it is insane to that game. And we're definitely going to talk about it in the opening block. Usually I don't put like teams that are not that strong in the opening block. I think I got no choice but to put this one in the opening block. That's for damn sure. But we're going to get into so many things like the Chiefs almost getting beat by the Texans. We're going to get into that Dolphins-Bills game, which was pretty incredible. Another classic up there in Buffalo. And we're also going to get into so much that happened here in the world of the World Cup as well, with Lionel Messi leading Argentina to his World Cup. It's their 3rd World Cup ever, but it's Messi's first. And it was an incredible game that for about 72 minutes definitely looked like it was going to be one of the most boring World Cups, where Argentina pretty much manhandled France through almost all of it. And then out of nowhere, France woke up thanks to Kylian Mbappe. So we're going to talk about all of that here as we get into the world of sports. And please remember, the Streamlabs are open. Remember to send in your Streamlabs. You got it up on the screen. It's also going to be pinned in the chat in just a second. It's in the description of this video as well. Hit a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. That's really big. Subscribe to the channel down below. Give us some love. Trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers mark. Been holding World Cup watch-alongs live on this channel, trying to get people to sign up. So let's make it happen. Let's jump into the first game here, Winston. That's the Dolphins and the Bills. Shout out to Bills Mafia. I am an honorary member there of Bills Mafia. What a game this was between the Bills, who overcame an 8-point deficit at home against these Dolphins, who had been suffering a little bit coming into this game. Maybe some questions about how authentic they were, but when they had that 8-point lead late in the game, I was thinking to myself, my God, are they going to pull off this victory? Are they going to shock the world and sweep the Bills and kind of blunt the Bills' drive here towards the playoffs and grabbing that number 1 seed? But I worried to no avail, because the Bills came back here. Josh Allen leading them on 2 scoring drives in the final 2 possessions here that was capped by Tyler Bass hitting a 25-yard field goal as time expired, which wrapped up the Bills, their 4th consecutive playoff berth, their 5th in 6 seasons under coach Sean McDermott. Dawson Knox had 98 yards receiving as well. Allen threw 4 touchdown passes to increase his career total to 171, including one receiving, and tie former Miami quarterback Dan Marino for the most by an NFL player in the first 5 seasons of his career. And there's still 3 more games left in the season, which is insane to think about here. The Dolphins are in second place here, and they are the AFC 6th seed, but now they've got to make up a 3-game gap here between them and the Bills. Raheem Mostert ran for 136 yards. Jalen Waddle had 114 yards, and Tua threw 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. So at the end of this game, what do you take away from both of these teams here, Winston A. Marshall? Did the Dolphins acquit themselves and get back into the conversation as possible playoff spoilers or contenders in the playoffs? And do you think the Bills are now just this juggernaut marching towards that Super Bowl yet again?
I'm not going to call the Bills a juggernaut. This is an ass whooping if I've ever seen one. But because we've been so hot and cold with the Bills.
Yeah.
Ride out the rest of the season like this. Finish strong where, like, you don't have to, like, trounce teams, but, like, don't ever really have any sort of shakiness in your mind with Chicago, especially with Cincinnati and with New England. If you win, like, handily by at least 2 scores, there's never like a true scare that you're gonna screw this up. Fine, I'll give you that all day, that they will be the AFC representative if they can show that kind of consistency.
Right.
The problem is when you are facing some of these teams, I know they're 11-3.
Yeah.
When you're facing some of these teams that are clearly looking to be playoff bound, you kind of shrivel a little bit. The only one that you, like, stood your ground there was against Kansas City, and that was a lot of bad blood where you're like, we have to prove something. So the Bills are a favorite to be an AFC, but to say, no, this is what they were looking at the start of, I don't
feel that way anymore, huh? Interesting.
I don't because the AFC has been so wild.
Yeah, it has
that
been.
The only team to me that, like, has stayed in true form pretty much the whole season has been Kansas City. I don't think I have an AFC favorite. I don't think that there's any team that I look at and I go, absolutely, because they've all faltered one way or the other. The closest I would get would be Kansas City, personally.
Wow. Okay. Strong statements there. I can understand why you would feel that way. Certainly, Kansas City has been, even though they've got it close, even though they lost to the Colts, they got close with the Texans here in this overtime game. They've been consistently winning most of their games and staying on point and replicating the, how can I say this? The status and the strength and the power they've had over the last few seasons. So I can't deny that. Yeah.
That's the other part of it, is there is a pedigree.
Yeah.
The Bills are working on it. The Bills will get to that point.
Right.
The Chiefs have the Chiefs have an MVP. They have 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win. They almost won that second Super Bowl. It just the last kind of minute Brady shenanigans, like, really kind of stopped Mahomes from crossing that finish line.
True.
But, like, they have kept their consistency and have history to bank off of, whereas the Bills have been very, very good, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. So I have plenty of faith in them to at least make it to the AFC Championship game. Do I automatically just put them as no, I would put the Chiefs above them as far as, like, more they could do this, if that makes sense.
All right, that makes sense. I'm a believer in the Bills again. They were kind of shaky in the middle of the season for a few weeks there. They've handled their business, and they've handled adversity. They've fought back, even at home, even with all those snowballs coming down, even with the refs saying they're going to penalize them 15 yards if any of those snowballs hit these players. They fought back and found a way to win this game. So, and Miami was game. I'm back in my mind, I'm back in believing in this team again, believing in Tua. So I'm very curious to see what the end result's going to be with that team as we go into the playoffs, because I think they're going to make the playoffs. It'd be a shame if they didn't. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with them. But yeah, I'm down with the Bills. And what do you think about the snowball situation? Did you think the refs were right to tell them, hey, we are going to penalize the Buffalo Bills if you don't stop throwing these damn snowballs? What do you think about that?
So here's my question. Why were they raining? Just because people were being stupid, or because they were like,
people were being stupid and having fun, and they weren't mad at it. They were just like, even when they scored touchdowns, they were throwing snowballs at the Buffalo Bills players. Yeah.
That's what you get. Look, bro, it's very simple. Stop interfering with the game. You want to throw snowballs at other people in the audience? You're still kind of a dick for that, but that's your business. Stop putting people in situations where they can get hurt.
Yeah, that's
the first
true.
thing, because you never know. People with snowballs, they're dicks. The way you get away with really hurting someone, snow already compacted like that can fuck somebody up.
Yep.
But let's say somebody does something fucking shady and puts like a bottle cap or a key or something inside of a snowball and chucks it at a Miami player. And it hits them, and then someone gets seriously injured. Fuck that shit, bro. Like, I went to the game where the Mavs in 2006 finals lost to the Heat.
Right.
And we were the Heat, Dwayne Wade went to the line like 20-something times. Because they were giving him an infinite number of calls. It was pissing me off. But as we were about to lose at home in the finals for good, people started throwing shit on the court, and they were like, absolutely not. You will be arrested. And if you're a fan of the team, then you need to stop. Now, mind you, there could have been Dolphins fans hearing this and going, hey, and like fucking somebody up. And that would be some old bullshit.
Right.
But all I know is, Rocha, when my friends came over to my mama's house, if they fucked up, I fucked up. Because I brought somebody with some bad manners in that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And I get that this is a rival situation, and maybe you thought this is a way you could whatever. But then it's going to sound weird. This might be a time where you throw some hands, be like, bitch, you're not going to fuck my shit up. I'm going to tell you right now, you know what you not going to do? You is not going to get me on punishment. Somebody got to go. If not throwing hands, I'm immediately calling security. It was this nigga in the Dolphins jersey over here dressed like Waddle. Waddle his ass out of here, bro. Get him the fuck up out of here. So
it was Colonel Mustard in the study with a candlestick. Don't you be blaming me. Don't you be blaming me. I hear what you're saying exactly. So,
you know, you do that, Rocha. You weren't getting the chocolate because your friend was misbehaving. No. That nigga going to take his plate up to the sink and wash it. You were not going to get an ass whooping because your friend ain't got no home training, or they don't come back to your house.
Y'all got to go. You can't be doing that here. Y'all got to get on out of here. I agree with that. Sure. It was pretty crazy for sure. We'll see in the end what it's going to lead to, if there's going to be any fines or anything like that going forward, because I got a feeling if Buffalo gets gets the home in the playoffs, gets home field in the playoffs, it's going to happen again. So I wonder how the NFL is going to handle that, what precautions they're going to take. So
I just got questions, because like last thing with this whole snowball thing, bro, y'all put yourselves voluntarily through a table. You can't put a rogue Dolphin fan throwing a snowball through a table and make that shit stop. I'm confused.
You lost me. All right, well, let's move on here. And remember, the Streamlabs and Super Chats are open, so send in your love here as we go along. But let's move on to the game Winston is hesitant to talk about it here. The Dallas Cowboys blew a 17-point lead against these Jaguars. Rayshon Jenkins intercepted Dak Prescott's tipped pass barely off the turf, and we're about to celebrate the immaculate reception. And it was about as close as you can get to the immaculate reception. It was about to hit the ground, picked it up, ran it 52 yards for a touchdown. Jenkins said after the game that his hamstrings were about to blow up, but he was going to run all the way to that end zone, even if it killed him. They won that game in overtime due to that pick six by Dak Prescott, who was sitting at midfield just absolutely, utterly deflated by having given up the game in that way. But this ended Dallas's 4-game winning streak and prevented them initially from winning the NFC playoff berth, and they got it later when the refs handed the game to the Giants. But the Cowboys wrapped up the wild card spot at least, even if they're not going to win the division, and it looks like they won't, because I don't imagine the Eagles are going to lose out the next 3 games. But like I said, the Jaguars...
We're going to start that trend, bitch. Don't worry about it.
Okay, fine. The Jaguars stormed back from a 27-10 deficit, as I said, but the Cowboys came back after the Jaguars had taken control of the game to send this thing into overtime. And look, Dak Prescott line is 23 of 30 for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns is not bad. It's those 2 interceptions that are the issue. And Lawrence had completed 27 of 42 for 318 yards and 4 touchdowns and an INT. He also lost a fumble, though, but Zay Jones has emerged as a hell of a player for these Jaguars, along with Travis Etienne. So, Winston, what are your thoughts here? You guys escaped the Texans, but then went right in. And didn't I joke about this weeks ago that you might be the only NFC East team to lose to the Jaguars? And you said, don't put that mojo out in the universe. And damn if I didn't put it out in the universe, and it happened. So
you're kind of a dick for doing that, bro. I really don't appreciate that.
I didn't think it was possible. Come on.
I did. I knew who I was dealing with. Look, there's a couple of things here to look at. I think the first thing, more than anything, is the fact that people have figured out the secret to beating our defense.
Oh, yeah.
Not having Anthony Brown is clearly showing.
Yeah.
They are picking on that corner. They intentionally kept finding ways to get Zay over there. If not him, Christian Kirk. Both of them almost 100 yards. Zay did with 3 fucking touchdowns. You pick on the weak link. And that I think that kid over there is a rookie. He's open for parity, bro. Like that's just that's a problem. And I really hope they figure that out before we get to the playoffs, because we're in a lot of trouble if you don't. We're in a lot of trouble because this defense that was so strong got eviscerated on this shitty corner. So there's that. I would say the first interception of Dak was worse than the second, even though the second one came at the end of the game.
The second one was a tip.
So that's not on him, but that is 11 interceptions in 9 weeks. That is one more interception than all of last season for Dak. That is not good. I don't know if it's because he's playing injured. I don't know if there's wires crossed, what's going on. Yeah. I now have my faith shaken in him. That he can get points on the board. I can rely on him to score. I cannot rely on him to secure the game. That makes me really, really nervous, and I don't love that. So those are my takeaways. I don't love the fact that this is the first NFC team that the Jags have beaten since 2015, apparently.
Wow.
Something like that. Or maybe not 2015, but it's 5 years. In like 5 years. Something like that.
Right. I didn't know that.
That's pathetic. Yeah. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the game. The last thing is, I wish the Fox Sports app had just stayed down. It was down when the game started. I was super pissed. I wanted to watch. I just finished the World Cup. I didn't get to see Messi hold the trophy. I didn't get to see that one nigga from Argentina with the little thing in front of with the golden glove in front of the Qatar leaders, and them being like, "What are you doing?" I didn't get to see Messi shade Salt Bay. I didn't get to watch the first half of this Cowboys game. I literally wish that it just stayed down and I just stayed pissed. And then when we lost, I wouldn't have had to watch. I had to watch the shitty part of the game. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do your Cowboys got left here? They got my Commanders near the end, but they've got the Eagles on a short week on Christmas Eve, and then they're at Tennessee, who looks a bit shaky right now, and then they're at Washington for my Commanders.
We could very easily lose out. I don't see that happening. I truly believe, because we need it as a confidence boost. I think, I'll instead of being super optimistic, I'll be realistic. I think we go 2-1. I think we beat Philly, lose to Tennessee, beat you guys. And I only say beat Philly, even though that seems like the biggest danger. There is something we have to prove. And I think there is something to be said about beating the best team in football. If you do that, I don't care if you lose the last 2 games, there's a certain confidence that you're like, we know how to smack the big dogs in the mouth. We've done it a few times this season. And if we do it to you guys, or to the Eagles, I genuinely think that this track back to the NFC Championship is a possibility, because you've got it in your head now. We can play with the best of them and we can beat them.
Well, you got to look at the Jaguars too here, man. It's pretty incredible what they've done. They've won 4 out of their last 6. They were including a 40-14 thrashing of the Lions, and they beat the Raiders, the Ravens, the Titans, and the Cowboys now. So I mean, they started out kind of hot, winning 2 out of the first 3, and then they went on this long extended losing streak. But then, winning 4 out of the last 6. Might be this franchise might have turned a corner here. I bet they'd love to have that Texans game back, or that Colts game back, or even that Broncos game back, and get victories there. We might be talking about the Jaguars as a possible a dangerous team to play in the playoffs. But right now, where they're sitting at 6-8, they might go 9-8. They could still win this division. They're only 1 game behind Tennessee, who all of a sudden looks shaky at 7-7, Winston. So there's a real possibility that Tennessee and Jacksonville, who play, by the way, on the last game of the season, could be playing for the division and the playoffs, which will be exciting to have Trevor Lawrence sneak into those damn playoffs. That would be crazy. So shout out to Doug Pederson, who's doing a great job down there in Philadelphia, getting his people ready. In Jacksonville, getting his people ready coming out of Philadelphia. Yeah.
By the way, I know we're going to get to the World Cup later. You heard that Drake bet $1 million on France and lost it, right?
That's Drake. That's the curse of Drake. Never let Drake bet on you. Never sleep with a Kardashian. This is how you survive in the sports world, for God's sake. All right, let's move on to our next game here. And remember, everybody, keep sending in your Streamlabs super chats. Let's move on to that Saturday game between the Colts and the Vikings. What utter madness this game was. The Colts, after having gotten mollywopped by the Cowboys, coming back here up 33-0 on the Vikings, and then blow it in the second half as Kirk Cousins leads, and KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson all get involved here with Dalvin Cook and lead the team all the way back to a victory there, 39-36 on Greg Joseph's 40-yard field goal with 3 seconds left in overtime to win the NFC North division. This is insane. Kirk Cousins, I saw people tweeting about Kirk Cousins and the Vikings in the first half. He ended up throwing for 460 yards and 4 touchdowns. Our friend Johnny LaQuasto was like, why did I start this guy? Then a follow-up tweet in the second half. Oh my God, I'm glad I started this guy. Hilarious at the end of this whole thing. KJ Osborne had 157 yards. He almost seemed to be willing the Vikings to this victory with the way he was playing. Adam Thielen had the second of 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes for 21 yards, and then Justin Jefferson got them in range with a 13-yard catch for them to kick that field goal to win it in overtime. I don't know what you take away from this game. I was ready to bury the Vikings as frauds, and here they come back. Now, I know it's the Colts, and I know Jeff Saturday is their coach, and maybe they're quietly tanking behind the scenes, but this was a colossal failure on so many levels. The most a team has ever come back on in playoffs or regular season. This game bested the 32 points that the Bills were up on. That the Oilers were up on the Bills when the Bills came back under Frank Reich to win that playoff game. So this was utter madness to watch here. What do you take away from this? What did you think of this game?
I mean, have you ever seen The Replacements? It's kind of how Mean Machine gets their ass whooped by the guards for a while, and then all of a sudden they kind of rally and figure it out, or Wait,
I think you're mixing.
Sorry. I'm mixing up The Longest Yard and The Replacements. Holy shit!
Do you see why he was a man? This is why he was a manager, ladies and gentlemen.
It's no. But it's both. It's genuinely both. That's the problem. It is both of those movies where it's this idea where it's like, man, we're getting our ass whooped, and then they figure it out. I think the biggest thing about this, for me, about this game, above all else, other than the fact that, Matt Ryan has to retire. You now own
come on.
The 2 greatest losses, or the 2 worst ends of comebacks that have ever happened. First 28-3, and now 33-0, and you were the quarterback on the receiving end of those, where the best you could do was 1 field goal, bro. Come on,
that's not good.
But I understand there's other elements at play, bro, but you're still the leader of that team. And something would have come in my body where all of a sudden I'm faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. We're like, fuck my arm. I'll do it myself. Thanos shit. I am not going to be on the receiving end of another one of these. I refuse. And yet, but what this really looks at for me, and what really got my goat, bro, the Jeff Saturday tweets.
Oh, man.
All of the Jeff Saturday tweets on the first half of the game. Jeff Saturday playing on a Saturday, baby. Woo! Like everybody, ring, bitch, like just out here. Then Jeff Saturday playing on a Saturday by the time the game was over. And the only thing that matters more than that, I like Jeff Saturday from everything that he's presented as a person, as far as like a player, as an analyst. He seems like such a wonderful guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
That stuff. But I want to say it was Boomer Eliason that said it on CBS Sports when he first got hired. Boomer Esiason, he said it. He was like, I like Jeff Saturday. Hard player, Hall of Famer, great guy. He was offered a job as an assistant coach by the Colts. He said no because he wanted to spend time with his family.
Yeah.
Then their head coach gets fired, and they bring Jeff Saturday in as the head coach, ignoring all of the assistant coaches that were there all season, preseason, gutting that out, ignoring all of the potential candidates as coaches that deserve this. The hiring of Jeff Saturday is a spit in the face of coaching. It is a disgrace to coaching. And the truth is, if he had come in and been some sort of wonderkin, it wouldn't have meant that it wasn't still a spit in the face of coaching, but at least you would have looked like a genius because you're like, this was just a guy of untapped potential. He had said before the season started when he was offered that position, there's a particular lifestyle I want to live. Coaching takes too much time. I don't want the job as an assistant of any sort. I'm good.
Yeah.
So to do this, man, that to me is what this game truly means. I think above all else, the Colts have a lot of work to do with their roster, but they have a solid enough roster that they should not have ever let a game fall 33 points. You've now done that twice.
Yeah.
You lost 33 points to the Cowboys in the fourth quarter, then you lost a 33-0 run to tie the game, and then eventually beat you. That is unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable.
Yeah, it looks bad as an organization. It looks bad on you as a head coach, and it looks bad on Matt Ryan as well, who seemed to be really just and some of the calls. I gotta believe that Irsay brought Saturday in because he wants to tank this team. I cannot believe that he brought Jeff Saturday in and said, "Yep, this guy. I watch him on TV. Seems like he knows what he's talking about. I know this dude personally, and I'm going to let him coach the team." Nah, I think there's some nefarious shit going on behind the scenes about this whole situation. And I don't mean to accuse Jeff Saturday of anything, but I just think there's something going on behind the scenes here. Even though they've played teams tough, we've seen them get blown out. And in essence, they got blown out here in the second half after going up 33-0. They got blown out in the second half, only scored 3 points. So,
my God. I just realized what's happening, Rocha.
Yeah.
You're a genius. You solved the fucking puzzle.
Somebody write this time down. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You solved the puzzle, bro. We're watching the American reboot of Ted Lasso. Think about it. Ted was brought in to tank that team so that she could sell it, right?
Yes.
He brought in Jeff Saturday, who knows nothing about coaching. Because on the one hand, you had with Ted, he doesn't know how to coach soccer.
Right.
In this case, instead of having him go coach some English or some other sport in another country, he brought him in to coach, period. He don't know how to coach. This is the American reboot of Ted fucking Lasso, bro.
You might be right, bro. You might be right. You might be 100% right. We shall see for sure. Where is Trent Crum from The Independent to question Jeff Saturday about his decisions?
They're on Twitter. They're on Twitter cracking memes, bro. That's what they're doing.
Oh man.
So is Matt Ryan Roy Kent? Is he gonna have like some magic moment at the end where his old ass does something special?
That's gonna be it. Yeah. I'm just here for the mints.
He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where he's Matty Ice.
Yeah. You guys got to come up for a chant for Matty Ice. That's got to be what's happening. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll jump into our next slate of games here in the first block of the show. Right after this, where is it? Did I get rid of it? I must have gotten rid of it. Sorry, guys. I had the thumbnail, but I must have gotten rid of it.
You're having a day, boys.
I am having a day. So you know what? Think about France. There we go. Think about France and think about Argentina. I don't know how I deleted that. Anyway, all right. It's probably deleting stuff, old stuff, and it got caught up in the deleting. I'm always deleting shit off the computer, man. All right. So let's move on to our next game here in the NFL, and that is the Patriots. And this madness. And yes, I'm absolutely going to bring up the video of this, but the Patriots lost to the Raiders in the most insane way on the final play of regulation. Ramondre Stevenson, who was essentially having a coming home game because he grew up in the Las Vegas area, took a handoff, found some running room, gained 23 yards, and then inexplicably threw the ball back. He pulled a Reggie Bush and threw the ball back to Jacoby Myers, who ran backwards, trying to keep the play alive, then tossed it as he was slipping or as he was hit towards Mac Jones. Chandler Jones intercepted it, former Patriot, by the way, then absolutely put his hand down like a father shoving down his kid in a father-son football game and ran all the way untouched into the end zone to win the game. This was the most insane situation here because it bailed out the Raiders who were leading 17-3 when the Patriots had come back. And look, Ramondre Stevenson had carried the ball for 172 yards on 19 carries. He was set to be the hero, not the GOAT. And then out of nowhere, and I don't mean GOAT and greatest of all time, but GOAT like the GOAT of the game, and threw the ball backwards and started this whole madness. So, Winston, what do you take away from this insane situation here that happened to end the game? And I'm going to bring up the videos we talk about it, please.
I'm just surprised that we didn't hear that, Ramonde or Jacoby have not already been released from one or the other. I mean, maybe it's because Belichick should technically be released. Why don't you kneel that out? If your point is that you're going for overtime, I get this idea of what if we get lucky and the run just breaks something off?
Yeah.
If you've already resigned to overtime, why give yourself any sort of room to potentially fuck this up?
Yep.
But ultimately, it's going rogue. It's Ramondre Stevenson. It's Jacoby Myers being like, "Fuck you, old man. I'm gonna go for this." And I think for Jacoby, to be honest with you,
yeah.
Rocha, have you ever been in a situation where shit goes sideways? So the adrenaline kicks in and you're not. So this is it. I don't think Jacoby Myers normally laterals this until all of a sudden, think about it. This last play type shit.
Yeah.
That's a moment where all of a sudden you're in backyard football. I'm going to go, oh shit. We lateral it? Like you just look, it's clear. It is clear that Jacoby at this point is just shooketh that he got lateral to himself.
But look at this. He's already like attempting to lateral the ball in that moment right there.
Right.
And
I thought Stevenson was going to try and truck the defender, but no.
Yeah.
And so then that's the problem. You see Myers has it, and now he's in panic mode.
Right.
He's like, oh shit. We're doing this. And so then he tries to, because I think Jacoby Myers used to be a quarterback, if I remember. So he thought that like his lateral would actually work, but like you threw it back right at the defender as you fell down, bro.
But
you got pushed.
Winston, the odds of all of this. Okay. Yeah. First of all, Stevenson was having a great game. So why are you doing the band is coming onto the field Stanford nonsense? Like, why are you doing the lateral nonsense? It makes no sense.
If you're losing, you go for this. Why are you doing this when you're tied?
You're just going to go to overtime.
What you do, if you want to run that play, and again, that's where Stevenson needs to do better, and that's that rookie getting a little too excitable.
Yeah.
You run that ball hard. You try and truck as many people as you can. You do not lateral. You stiff arm. You do whatever you can. And when you go down, okay, we gave it a shot. We go to overtime. You do not do that. You do that because literally, if you do not score something, the game is over. That is not what this was. That's insane. That is insane.
But
Jacoby Myers, you fucked up, bro. But I genuinely think, Rocha, I think the adrenaline kicked in. The minute he got lateral too, he's like, oh shit, we lateral it. Like it is black people theory. Rocha, if you start running, I'm gonna take off. I don't know why we're running. I don't know why we're running, but that is all I need to know that I gotta run. Jacoby got a lateral. He goes, fuck, motherfucker, we lateral and we gonna score this bitch. That just fear kicked in, bro.
I hear you. Cedric the Entertainer schooled me on that in the Kings of Comedy. Well, you just run. When everyone starts running, you run. But I mean, what are the odds that he threw it back and former Patriot Chandler Jones intercepts this ball? And then here's the father-son moment, for God's sake. I mean, this is absolutely Jesus. I mean, that is pushing your younger brother down on the ground.
Hey, cuz, sit down. Just kept running both Jones. He sat his little cousin down and then took off.
And that was that. I mean, like, what an insane play to end this game. And apparently the Patriots are the only team to have lost games off laterals like this in the NFL, I think, for the last 40 or 50 years. Because remember when the Dolphins did this and juked Gronkowski on the goal line almost and scored to beat the Patriots, here they go with a backwards lateral that ended up costing them the game. One of the most, when it was happening, I couldn't believe what was happening. And the announcers were cracking me up because the color guy was like, oh no. And it was just like, it was just happening. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, of course. Bro. So just madness to see that happening for sure.
Bro, it's a colossal, like, don't go for the two Just multiple choice that bitch out. Now I'm gonna take a random stab at it. I'm gonna say Gwyneth Paltrow. Sir, this was an all-man movie. That's a no. What?
The tweets were great. This is fantastic. Ramondre Stevenson and Jacoby Myers.
Oh man, oh man, bro. Oh my God.
Oh, the internet is so fantastic.
I was going to say Ramondre doesn't have any legs to stand on. He started this thing. He fucking started this. He has no leg to stand on. Zero.
Just such good stuff. Anyway, I don't want to get involved in. I don't want to get in trouble here with playing any of this stuff, but so hilarious. So anyway, just madness. And now the Patriots. I mean, honestly, and we're going to get to the Buccaneers here in a second, but good God, man. Mac Jones is not the answer. His stat line was absolutely horrific. The fact they were even in the game was a miracle all on its own, and having been down 17-3. So they were on their way, I think, to eventually winning this thing in overtime because the Raiders looked like they were imploding yet again, as they've done numerous times this year. And then they bailed them out. The Patriots bailed them out. And now the Raiders might have a crazy outside chance at the playoffs, which I think is crazy to think about.
Playoffs?
Anyone was thinking, yeah, exactly. Anyone was thinking they were going to the playoffs, and now they might have a shot here, which I think is just madness to think about. At 6-8, where they're at right now, the Chargers are 8-6, so they're only 2 games behind the Chargers. There's 3 games left. They play at the Steelers, the 49ers, and the Chiefs. So who knows what can happen in this situation? But man, the Patriots shot themselves in the foot with this loss as well, because they were kind of keeping pace at 7. If they had gotten this victory, they would have been 8-6 in the and tied with Miami for second place, because everyone is within a game except for Buffalo now having a 3-game lead. But it's Miami at 8-6, the Jets. Oh, sorry, the New England 7-7, and the Jets at 7-7. So this is a huge loss for New England that could affect them sneaking into these playoffs. So we shall see. We shall see. But let's move on to the Giants beating the Commanders.
If I have to suffer, Rocha, we all have to suffer. Okay, I just want you to know that this is a shared space of torment. All right, misery loves company, bitch.
I know. Now I know what She-Hulk felt like when she walked into that room full of people who were trying to talk about their issues and dealing with the nonsense, because I need a fucking group hug right now, because that game was just so. I mean, I set aside my schedule. I almost did a watch along on this channel for the game, because I was like, this is the first time a game has mattered for us in a while. And I almost did the watch along, and I thank God I didn't, because what we got, and I'm not one of these people that is like, oh, the refs are on their side, but God damn it, when you're watching this game and you see them call a bullshit offensive pass interference call on us on the goal line in the second half, we're about to tie the game, and then they call a bunch of nonsense, and then right at the end they don't, and then you have a player at the end who is checking with the ref and says, hey man, am I on the line? The ref goes, yeah dude, you're totally on the line, as he's pulling the flag out and throws the flag on the guy.
That's
and then you
not
see
the
them
one,
not call
bro.
offensive pass interference.
It's the no call. All of them are bad. They're all bad, but that no call was egregious. That was
egregious.
That no call was as bad, not as bad because the stakes are different.
Right.
But that no call is as bad as the Saints Rams one all those years ago.
You could argue
it was blatant pass interference.
Yeah.
The only difference is one is a trip to the Super Bowl, versus one is, just a regular season game with a lot that is clear, dude. I don't even know if that's the full video, because before the ball is in the air,
look at that.
The ball, yes, that is egregious.
I mean, he is draped all over him.
Rocha, that's the thing. That's not even the full thing. I know you don't have the video beyond that.
Yeah.
Look. All this. That is, bro. That is nonsense.
Yeah.
That is
utter nonsense. Look at this.
And I hate both of your teams. And I'm happy when one of you loses and suffers. But I don't stand for that shit. That's bullshit. What I really wanted to have happen, even though this put us into the playoffs, I kind of wanted y'all to tie again, because the comedic gold I would have had, because you were about to go into OT 20-20 again. And if you tied at 20-20 again, you do not understand. I am so excited to release my week 13 fucking SVU later today. It is so funny. These two old men just fighting over. Oh my God, this would have been gold. And now it's gone.
Dude. I was I was throwing everything in the room. Like I closed the door and just started throwing shit all over the office.
Rocha.
My poor girlfriend. She was in the living room watching RuPaul, and I'm in here like just throwing shit all over the goddamn office.
Bro, all I know is someone just said backpack. I'm out here like, yeah, that Giants defender was riding him like backpack be riding Dora the Explorer, bro. Just being like.
He tried to turn him into the human centipede. He tried to sit on top of his head. He was on his
backpack out here being like, swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Just like,
and this is the other one. This was the maddening one. Look, he is absolutely looking at the ref saying, hey, am I good? Am I good? Oh, no, you're totally good. Am I good? Am I good? And my homie is opening his zipper to pull the fucking flag out. Look at that. And he checked with him
he's checking with him again. You see that? He's looking, he's like, wait, bitch. Wait, he's like, he literally watch. As he's about to start the route, he goes, ready? Just let it go. Let it go.
Okay.
He's like, all right, I'm set. All right, cool. I'm good. All right, I'm good. All right, great. Let's run the play. Here we go. Yep. And we're gonna hike it and hike. Wait, nigga, you said I was good. Wait a minute. He literally looks at him at the last second. Goes, wait. Like, and now he's like, "Are you serious, bitch? Are you serious, bitch?"
This is. I'm telling you right now, and I don't say these things, but there needs to be an investigation done, and I need to find out what happened here because they screwed us. Now, if this has to do with Dan Snyder. Or Roger Goodell not wanting Dan Snyder in the playoffs because Dan Snyder is having all these lawsuits against him, clumping Goodell into the lawsuits and the NFL, then I can understand that. Just let us know. Just let us know so we don't have any hope or faith. And when we watch the games, we know we're going to get fucked. I just want to know that ahead of time so I don't waste time getting emotionally involved in this nonsense because I was livid because it was so obvious.
Yeah,
and I said, man, it's got to be. You know,
I feel bad, man. It's supposed to be 11 on 11, and it was 18 on 11 out there. Like, it's pretty bad, bro. It's like, I mean, that sucks. I'm sorry, Rocha. That's not.
It's not. If it's close, I can get it. I get it because refs are human. They're gonna see what they're gonna see. But this motherfucker looked at the receiver, and the receiver said, "Am I good?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're good. Oh, you're so good. You're the best you've ever been positioning there." What the fuck? It was the worst, man. It was the worst.
You know what that ref did? That's every man that goes to his girlfriend, and then you're like, "Okay, babe, I'm gonna go with the homies," and she's like, "Mm-hmm," and he's like, "Are we good? You good?" Mm-hmm. And as soon as you walk out the door, this motherfucker, she instantly you're in trouble. When she says you good, if I was him, I would have been like, just go ahead and take a step back. I don't trust this nigga. Like, I'll take a half step back. I don't care. That's so fucking rude.
I don't know if you guys have seen that commercial or if you've seen that commercial where a woman is looking out the window and the dude, and she's got this look on her face, like just utter slight disappointment or maybe reconsidering all her life choices.
Okay.
And the boyfriend walks in and goes, "Are you okay?" And she looks over and she just stares at him for about a second and goes, "Oh, I'm fine." And he goes,
Nope.
God damn it. And he knows because he fucking knows she's not fine. And he's going to have to pay for it later. God damn it.
But that's a good point. You still have a shot to make the playoffs, but I'll be honest with you, playing the Niners, I think
no way. We're not going to beat the Niners and you guys. No fucking way.
I think you're done, and that sucks. That not like this. Like not like this, bro. If you had like lost the game to the Giants, fine, but not like this. That's rough.
Fucking Matrix, not like this.
Not like this.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to the last game in the opening block here, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals here. Joe Burrow threw for 4 touchdowns. As Winston said earlier, and as we talk about it through these games, Winston might be 100% right. Who the fuck knows in the AFC? All these teams are coming on here in the AFC at the end. It's going to be insane, that side of the playoffs for sure. But they rallied past the Buccaneers after they were down 17 points to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. They rallied to beat them 34-23 here, and the Bengals retained sole possession of first place in the AFC North because the Ravens ended up losing to Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson here. Trey Flowers intercepted Brady to set up one touchdown, and Logan Wilson sacked Brady to force a fumble that led to another touchdown. The first place Bucs are still in first place, even though they lost this game. And they've lost 3 games out of the last 4 games, and they're still in first place in this nonsense situation. Burrow had 200 yards. That's it. He was 27 of 39 for 200 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns, interception. Brady lost for the first time in his 23-year career after leading by at least 17 points. He was 89-0 in that situation. He was 30 of 44 for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 intersections, sacked once, and as I said, lost that fumble. So, I mean, fuck, I don't know what to make out of these Buccaneers, man, because, I mean, they had the Joe Burrow and the Bengals down by 17 points. Then they blew it. They're still in first place. They're going to get into the fucking playoffs, barring some nonsense. So, are they a 1-and-out, or are they going to go crazy and be like the Houston Rockets and like just kind of go right through the playoffs and do this never doubt the heart of a champion nonsense and win the Super Bowl? I don't know what to do.
What I'm concerned about is they won't do that, but they will pull a Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
Beast quake. I would not be surprised if they say, and I pray to God we're not the team that plays them if that happens. But I would not be surprised if you get a beast quake game out of Brady where it's like, no, they're not going to win, but they upset somebody.
Yeah,
that would be wild. But I'll be honest with you. I am pulling for the Bengals to go back to the Super Bowl and to finish the job. Okay. Unless Dallas is in there. If Dallas is in there, then kiss my ass, Joe Burrow. I hope we sack you a bajillion times again. But otherwise, they're a fun team to root for. Young talent. They are 10-4. Let me take a quick look real quick.
They look
Their
good.
last loss. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6-game winning streak. A 6-game winning streak.
Yep.
And one of them was against Kansas City, a team that you needed to beat to get to the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl in the first place.
Yeah.
This is huge. Yeah. And they very easily could win out. They could win out and be 13-4, which is wild. The only team left that they have on the roster is the Bills. That's going to be a slobber knocker. It doesn't mean you sleep on Belichick, even with crazy laterals. And it doesn't mean you sleep on Baltimore if they decide to put Lamar back in, if he's healthy enough to come back for the rest of the season.
Right.
So if I were Lamar Jackson personally, knowing kind of where they're at, let me look at the statistics. Not the statistics. The
you know what's crazy?
standings.
That tie keeps us in 7th place right now in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yes, because it's a half win. Because it's a fucking half win. That's exactly why. But like, okay, so the Ravens are still there.
Off that tie, man. Fuck that shit.
The Ravens are still there. So knowing who Lamar is, I'm sure if he's healthy, he's gonna come back. But if I'm Lamar, make Baltimore sweat, bro. You guys will come back. Make him sweat. You didn't really protect him well. You didn't pay him his money. If I'm Lamar, I know you're going to piss off a lot of Baltimore fans. But if I'm Lamar, I'm like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. This injury could have been way worse. You should have paid me already. I got you an MVP. I've helped you get some playoff win. Fuck you. Pay me. That's me.
Yeah.
But either way, I honestly think the favorite to go to the Super Bowl is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling for the Bengals. I think they can do it again. I think they got the sauce, bro.
It's going to be Bengals. I think it's going to be Bengals Bills in the championship game. It's going to be crazy though, unless they sneak up and unless the Chiefs stumble here. And look, they had to go to overtime to beat the Texans, the 1-12-1 Texans. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Kansas City, and they have shown a propensity to blow games that they should win. So who knows if it's Bengals and Bills is the 1-2, then I think they're both going to win out till they face each other in the AFC Championship game, which could be really fascinating. And you're right. I mean, right now, the Bucs and the Cowboys are the 4 and 5 seed. So
for now, no, I agree. And it'll probably stay that way unless the Eagles drop.
Yeah.
The Eagles would have to drop.
Yeah. I don't see that happen.
And sure, we beat them, but I don't know if they lose any of their other games. So I think that's we're done on that. But that's the thing. I'm not scared of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at the start of the season versus Tampa Bay now, I don't give a fuck. I feel like there is also something in the water to show Brady, go home, old man, you're done. I think there's something that the Cowboys would want to do. I think Micah Parsons, like his pride, I think everything that's on that. And if we pull that off, bro, at that point, truthfully, the only team that, and I know how good the Eagles are, and I know they're the best in football, but because they're a rival, I feel like we can get in their head and fuck with them. The only team that genuinely scares me in the NFC right now are the Niners. It's wild that I'm saying that, but
I think my Lions are going to knock us out. I mean, the Lions are going to knock us out. Sorry, not my Lions, but the Lions are going to knock us out. I think the Seahawks might be toast now. But I don't know what's going to happen with the Giants. Like, what if the Giants have won this game, but then they go on a 3-game losing streak to end the season, which is really possible. They only barely beat us thanks to the refs. And they've got the Vikings next, who look like nothing is out of the realm possibility. The Colts, which they might win, and then the Eagles, who might be sitting all their starters. So they might get a gift wrap ticket into the playoffs because of that situation. So who knows what's going to happen with the Giants?
The Eagles go until the Vikings lose, because you kind of have us in there. They got to worry about that, trying to usurp the NFC East title. Yeah. But if you want to lock down that bye week, right, you kind of have to go until you don't anymore. And then you need to maybe rest a little bit.
Because if you look at the Lions have a cakewalk in terms of their schedule. I mean, they have got the Panthers, who don't, whatever, the Bears, and then the Packers, who might be out of it by the time they play the Lions. The crazy part is the Packers, if they go on a little bit of a run here, they might have a shot to get into the playoffs and might be playing the Lions for a shot at the wild card. So, fuck, who knows? We could have, for all the nonsense, we could still have Rodgers and Brady in the NFC playoffs. And that's insane to me.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Rocha. Don't. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't want it either.
We watched the Old Man Bowl. It was boring. All right. I don't want that shit no more.
We did. All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. Y'all think about France and Argentina, and we'll be right back. All right, there you go. All right, let's move on to the rest of the NFL, the best of the rest here. Jared Goff stunned the Jets late as the Lions held on for a 20-17 victory here. He threw a 51-yard touchdown pass to Brock Wright on a 4th and 1 with 1:50 remaining, and the Lions held on for the victory. Zach Wilson took the loss, of course. And then the field goal here by Dicker the kicker propelled the Chargers to a 17-14 victory over the Titans after Tennessee had tied it with 48 seconds left on Ryan Tannehill's 1-yard quarterback sneak. Justin Herbert led the Chargers 52 yards in 6 plays for that field goal. Brock Purdy and the 49ers toppled the Seahawks 21-13 on Thursday night, won the NFC West there. Purdy had a pair of touchdowns, and he looks so relaxed in that role. Fuck, man, it is incredible. The 49ers may be the team that comes out of the NFC into the playoffs. Who knows? Jalen Hurts ran for 3 touchdowns speaking of a team that might go into the Super Bowl here, Jalen Hurts ran for 3 touchdowns as the Eagles squeezed by the Bears here, 25-20, matching the best start in franchise history at 13-1. And the last time they went 13-1, that was 2004 when they reached the Super Bowl. Jerick McKinnon had a 26-yard run to lift the Chiefs over the Texans 30-24 in overtime. Deshaun Watson in his home debut for the Browns threw a touchdown here and led them over the Ravens here to an ugly 13-3 victory with Lamar Jackson still on the sidelines. Mitch Trubisky was solid with the Steelers defense, and they shut down the Panthers in a 24-16 win. Andy Dalton lifted the Saints over the Falcons, who, God bless, all of them still have a shot at this damn division title as they won 21-18. He threw 3 touchdown passes here to lead them to victory over the quarterback who was having his debut here, Falcons rookie quarterback Desmond Ridder. And then Brett Rippon, yes, the son of Mark Rippon, led the Broncos to a 24-15 victory over Arizona in his 3rd career start. So what do you want to talk about here? Which game, which situation, what's sticking out at you right now here, Winston? Okay.
Marcus Mariota just decided he just quits. Like that's what it is.
No,
I know
they sat him. Oh yeah, they sat him, and then he went home.
And
yeah,
then he literally has not shown up to a single team function since. He goes, "You don't want me," and then he just said, "All right, bitch."
He did say, "Wait, come back, Mariota, Marcus. The contract says, oh, God damn it! Somebody find Marcus." We're going to have to find him. I think we're going to have to find him. Is he gone all the way back to Oregon? I think he went all the way back to Oregon.
I was really tempted to just leave the show and let you finish it without me just because it would have been really fucking funny. But like, I cannot believe that, bro. I know you're sensitive. I know you've had an up and down career and what this might potentially mean. But you know what that says to a lot of future employers, including the current one you work for.
Yeah.
It says that, like, and it doesn't mean that maybe the Falcons weren't doing something else, but you just got to understand, unless you got some incriminating evidence on them, it just makes you look bad. That to me is the only thing of all this that looks interesting. I mean, good for the Lions. We've talked about their scrappiness and how they might do it. Right. Chargers over Titans makes sense. Niners over Seahawks based on how they're playing right now makes sense and good for them for winning the division again. I expected the Eagles to beat the Bears, and when you said squeezes by, you made it sound like it was a last-minute heroics, but I'm looking at the scoring recap, and I'm like, oh, no. They kind of had this under control pretty much the whole time. I guess, at one point the Bears were within, 4?
Yeah.
But they kind of had that on lock. And then what? Chiefs, that's close, but clearly the Texans got something. They made us have to fucking work for it last week.
True. Even though they won 12-1, it's insane how tight they've played you and played the Chiefs. So kind of shocking, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Whatever on the Browns over Ravens. There's no Lamar Jackson. Saints over Falcons. Trubisky over the Panthers. Okay. Like all these are kind of boring ass games. So for me, it's just Marcus Mariota's disappearing act, bro. Did not realize his middle name was Houdini.
This is bad. I agree with you. It's a bad look on so many levels because, like, this is a guy who was who lobbied to be a starter in the NFL, who said he deserved to be a starter in the NFL. What was he at Tennessee before, and he wanted to show that he could still do it. So Atlanta gave him a chance. You're not winning games. Maybe they think Desmond Ridder gives them a chance to win games, and they're looking towards the future because they don't really want to make the playoffs just to get their asses handed to them by a better team. So what's the logic? The Eagles did this with Jalen Hurts a couple of seasons ago when we sneaked into the playoffs because they sat Jalen in the second half, and all these Eagles fans were so fucking pissed. But this is why you sit a quarterback like this, because you want to save him for a better situation. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes with Mariota and this franchise, and maybe he was sick of it. And certainly Atlanta's snake bit by a lot of situations, comebacks, the Super Bowl situation, all that stuff. So you wonder what happened here and why
Is that true?
He was okay to do it.
Hold on, is that true? Yeah. I'm seeing John Ward saying that Mariota was having a kid.
Nah, that can't be the reason, man. Because if they wouldn't have let that story leak like that if that was the reason.
That's the whole thing. Let me hear some anything. Give me a news article, something, because that seems unreasonable to do that to him.
Right. They would have you don't stain your starting quarterback by making the cycle turn against him. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. No.
I have got to believe that can't be true because as baby, let's see if.
So it says right here, according to the Falcons, he is not expected back to the Falcons in 2023. So even if he had the baby or not, him storming off like that is what really this is all about. No matter what his people try to turn the narrative around to be, there's no way he just kind of stormed off without the team's permission to go to take care of his baby. I mean, that's a story you want to have out there, that he went to go be with his child and love his child. NBC any of the networks could have ran with that as a positive thing. So to me,
right. So okay. So it looks like, let's see, on the 13th. So last Tuesday, Mariota leaves the Falcons after benching. On the 14th, welcome baby Makaya Marcus Mariota welcomed their new child into the family. Okay, then realistically, because then even Arthur Smith, it's a performance-based decision. We're trying to push the offense. We feel that this is the best decision. It's also reported that he's dealing with chronic knee injury and looking at having surgery. Then give me everything. Literally, because you know how the media plays this. That is a bad job by the coaching, by the fucking organization. Look, man, it is performance-based. We want to see what we got in this rookie. At the same time, we know that Marcus has been dealing with an injury, and he just had a new kid welcome into the family. Right. We're going to put him on IR so we don't further injure him. Give this rookie a shot to help us out and go from there. You defend your fucking people. That to me is so goddamn shady. I apologize to Marcus now, knowing, I guess, the full story of it, but that's fucking bullshit.
Well, let me give you some more in here, because this is according to the Falcons website, the Falcoholic Falcons fan website. Arthur Smith signed Mariota here earlier in the season, of course, to get him to be the starter. He went in as an unquestioned starter, had 13 starts. But, he benched him because he felt he was struggling, wanted to give the kid a shot. Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports gave us a look inside this whole situation. The Falcons apparently informed Mariota on December 8th that they would be making the switch to the rookie. The next day, the team was informed via text from Mariota's rep that the quarterback would soon undergo a procedure for a chronic knee injury, even though he never appeared on the injury report this season with a knee injury and didn't miss one snap due to any kind of knee injury. And then Jonathan also notes that Mariota has been with his newborn and his family and has been in touch with the team, of course, but there's no reason to wait on the surgery for a team who benched him. And maybe he thought, well, I'll just go home 4 to 6 weeks in rehab. But this just speaks of a bad breakup, and where both sides think that they were right or made the right decision, and each one is kind of defending their decision with their excuses. This feels like Meghan and Harry and the royal family. You got just two people, all these people to have their reasons for why they did what they did, and it's your choice to believe whichever side you want. So this just feels like a bad breakup all around, in my opinion.
It does. I hear you. I'm just of the mindset, man, of like,
but you might be right, because the Falcons haven't really done a great job, have they, with their narratives or promoting their team or promoting? Yeah, it's a fair point.
I'm not saying that Matt Ryan didn't need to be let into the big quarterback, field in the sky. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have but the way you handled your Deshaun Watson chase.
That's the thing. That's actually a stain on the organization. It's a great point you bring up, Winston. Yeah.
I understand it's the league that handed down the suspension of Calvin Ridley, but how that was handled, just left and right, this organization looks ridiculous. And if I'm a player for this team, unless this is my only opportunity, I'm real careful about if I sign with the Falcons because of how you decide to handle business.
Yeah.
Like, especially a quarterback. Yeah. You are consistently fucking over your quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of feel bad for this rookie stepping into the situation as well, Desmond Ridder.
But it's his opportunity. You got to take it. Yeah. You got to take it. And then if you do well, be aware of what they're doing and either put stuff in contracts or seek another opportunity once you've established yourself. Because fuck that shit.
For sure. The thing I want to move to is the Jets here in this situation with that loss to the Giants. And of course, Zach Wilson starting instead of Mike White. It's a third loss now they've had in a row, because they lost to the Vikings, lost to the Bills, now lost to the Lions. They've got the Jaguars, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins coming up here. They're 7-7, bottom of the AFC East. But the Jaguars game now looks kind of touch and go. We'll see who wins that game, because the Jaguars certainly showed up against you guys. They've been playing well recently. The Seahawks might be fighting for their playoff lives, so they might be bringing the heat here with the Jets. And then they've got the Dolphins in Miami. So a very interesting situation for them. But if you look at the standings for them right now in the conference, they are right now, the Jets are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8th right now. They're 8th ninth on the outside looking in, tied with the Patriots, tied with the Titans, one game behind the Dolphins. So this is a very curious situation for the Jets. Will they be able to do enough to sneak into these playoffs, or was this as far as they can go for right now? And it gives you promise going into next season that they might acquit themselves even better, having a quarterback like Mike White a little bit more dialed into the offense and not injured, because I don't think Zach Wilson clearly is not your answer, even though he kept the game tight against the Lions. He's clearly not your answer here.
Yeah, Zach's not the answer. He kind of gives me Colt McCoy vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
I think we're seeing good looking kid, played really well in college, not superstar, but pretty damn well. Could be a career long backup and could be a really good one, and could be a guy that could hold you over until your guy comes back. I think that the jury's kind of, this is what, his third season, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's the guy. And that sucks. I don't like seeing people fail. There's nothing that he's given me as like an individual where like I don't want to root for him or anything like that.
Right.
But I just don't think it's it. But it also could just be, let's be honest, Jets have not done a very good job by their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Their quarterbacks can show flashes of brilliance. And Haskell, you're here. You can speak to this more than anybody else.
Yeah.
They show flashes of brilliance, and then they just kind of fall off. Mark Sanchez took you to multiple AFC championships, and after that butt fumble, that was a wrap. Geno Smith came in, actually did pretty damn well those first two seasons, and then that was a wrap. And I'm glad for what he was able to prove a little bit at the start of the season, but it seems like he's coming back down to earth. I hope that Zach Wilson isn't forever tainted now, like that he didn't go up there. I guess this is his second season, not his first. Second. I don't know, dude. There's just something. There's something in the water in Jets land where other positions seem to do well, but quarterbacks don't make it out of their life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
Well, let's wrap up the show talking about the World Cup here. Winston, let's move off the NFL now, because we've got some games we're going to be talking about, sure, in the next episode of the show. But let's move on to the World Cup here. Lionel Messi, as I said earlier, lifted Argentina to a victory here on penalties in the World Cup final. They beat them 4-2 technically on penalties to win it after a 3-3 draw in a thrilling final at Lusail Stadium in Qatar on Sunday. Argentina raced out to a 2-goal lead in the first half, thanks to Lionel Messi on a penalty and Angel Di Maria with a fantastic goal there, who we got from the pass from McAllister. But as this game was looking like Argentina was going to wrap this thing up, Kylian Mbappe came to life thanks to a penalty, scored that, and then 92 seconds later scored on a blistering volley here to tie the game 2-2 going into extra time. Argentina scored first in extra time. Lionel Messi once again scoring first, and then Mbappe matched him by scoring on a penalty that was called there on France to tie the game up 3-3. Then we went to penalties, and pretty much the Argentinian goalkeeper was 100% on point and psyched out the French shooters here, penalty takers here, and they ended up winning this match. Fantastic game for sure. I mean, Lionel Scaloni, who is one of the youngest coaches, if not the youngest coach to ever win a World Cup, incredible kind of preparation he has delivered here for this team. Lionel Messi finally winning his first World Cup, kind of cementing himself as the GOAT, in my opinion, over Cristiano Ronaldo here. He was playing in his 26th, which is a record, 26th World Cup match, his final World Cup match for now. This was just a fun game to watch in the last 30 minutes of the game, in terms of the last 15, then into overtime, and then the penalty, or extra time, and then the penalty. So what do you take away from this game here? Are you impressed by what Lionel Messi was able to do and Argentina was able, or does Mbappe at 23 years old in his second World Cup final, by the way, does this guy look to you like he's going to be taking his place amongst the greats of the game?
Oh, Mbappe is about to be that guy, bro. Ronaldo and Messi are kind of wrapped. This is we're watching the end of a ridiculous era from them, and I'm so happy for Messi. I had so many conflicted feelings about this final.
Okay.
This is the one thing Messi didn't have. I wanted him to complete the resume with a World Cup title, and he showed up and scored 3 goals if you include him on the penalty kick,
right?
On the when you're in the PKs at the end. Obviously not the one he made at the top of the game, but so you're watching that, bro, and all that. I think what made me feel conflicted is because I had heard from so many different Black friends of mine about they love Mbappe, but they watch how France, very similar to England and very similar to Italy, has so many Black players. and they are so fucking racist.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of they're victims of racism for sure.
It is so bad, and I don't think I realized how black the French team was until the PKs, and it is literally all brothers.
Yeah,
and they just look so. And I went from fuck France, let's go Argentina, come on Messi, to oh shit. Because someone asked, like my girlfriend Kristen asked, she goes, isn't the French team super black? Or what happened? I'm pulling for everybody black. I was like, yeah, but fuck France. They so rude to black people. I ain't here for that shit. And then I saw them brothers like, oh, but damn it, no. And my girlfriend kept being like, you know where the Nazis hid after World War II, right? They went to Argentina. And I was like, that was in the 40s. I'm not saying that people didn't do shit fucked up and don't deserve, but like, what that got to do with the soccer team now?
Joe Chris, we've had a few generations since.
It's not just that, bro. We got Nazis here in America right now.
Yeah, it's 100%
so
true.
I don't know. We kind of got them here. So I just had real conflicted feelings. But at the end of the day, I am genuinely super, super, super happy for Messi. Again, you're talking about one of the greatest players of all time, if not the GOAT.
Yeah.
That this was it. This is all you needed. And now he genuinely, I'm sure he'll play in some of the regular leagues he plays in going out. But
sure.
If he retires before the next World Cup, and this is how we go, that's the most storybook shit you could ask for, bro. That's how you ride out.
I agree. And look, Mbappe is going to be back there again. There's no way he isn't. That French team is only going to get better. A lot of younger players on that team getting World Cup experience, and they were missing 3 of their top players who had been injured before the World Cup, and they still got to the final as a repeat as champions, and never really looked like they were in trouble until they played Argentina in the first 72 minutes of the game. So it was pretty incredible to see what they were able to do. Plus, in my opinion, they have the best kit in the game. I almost bought that jersey, except it's $200 motherfucking dollars. So I ain't spending that on the team that is on jersey that isn't my country. But like, it was crazy to watch them play the way that they played and just never seemed to really be bothered. Even against England, they seemed to be in control of the game almost the whole time. And then boom, at the end there, just kind of falter right at the end in the penalty kick situation. But Mbappe is going to be back. And already he's been to 2 World Cup finals at the same age that Pele was. So that tells you that this is the kind of player that you're getting here. And he went Neo on them in the last 15 minutes of the game. He was in the Matrix, man.
Bro.
If he gets that one extra dribble in the extra time when he was going to set that shot off, if he's able to elude that defender, that's 4 goals. And he is one of 2 or 3 players that have ever gotten a hat trick in a World Cup final. So kid's incredible.
Yeah, I know. And can I also say, though, it's so wild watching this final. I know as Americans, we're all proud. Hey, we made it to the knockout stages, blah, blah, blah. If you want to see how far behind we are from really 100%. Being a force, watching this game and some of the moves they were pulling on each other, I was like, what the fuck? We wish we could do this shit, bro. Like, 100%. Holy shit. The whole time I was watching, it was like, okay. So now I know what a LeBron versus Steph game actually looks like in soccer and World Cup. Like, and I've watched enough soccer that I've seen it. But because, again, most of those games are so early in the morning here, I'm catching just like highlight shit. I don't always get to see this on the regular. And so being able to rewatch it, on top of the fact that my homie called out, I didn't even realize this, the goalkeeper that just won for Argentina, that was the backup for Arsenal. We should have let this motherfucker be the starter. You let him go now. He was talking mad shit, bro, during them PKs. He's like, nah, bitch. Nah, bitch. Step off. Like, oh.
It's really funny because if you look at a history of him 10 years ago in fucking first division football in Britain, he was terrible at penalties. He couldn't stop. He lost. I think it was Stockport versus Port Vale and just lost the game because he couldn't. But he's evolved as a goalkeeper. He's a starting goalkeeper, I think, for Aston Villa now in the Premier League. And so he has evolved. And to me, if I'm a big club and I see what he was able to pull off in the World Cup, I'm immediately finding out what his transfer fee is, what do I have to pay this other team to get him to be a goalie for my club. So I think he acquitted himself really well. One of the stars of Argentina. him and Messi, because remember, he stepped up in that penalty shootout with Croatia as well and psyched them out. So the guy has everything you need to have.
Do you remember the very last save before penalties? France was about to walk away with it
at
the end of extra time.
That
and
was
my
it.
guy, full split at the last second, knocked that shit back. Like, my guy was ready for the PKs because after that save, he's like, ain't nothing stopping me, bro. Ain't nothing stopping me. And then the last thing I'll say about it, unless there's something else you got, bro. I see, I think it's Dim in here saying that Messi can't be the GOAT. Pele, 3 World Cups, no roids, all that kind of stuff. Here's why Messi actually is the GOAT over Pele. You saw that Messi saw Salt Bay's ass trying to come over and say hi to him, and he was like, nah, son, I know you a fraud, bitch. Step off. Don't talk to me. I'm fucking Messi, ho. Pele wish. He wish. I know how GOAT he is at just straight up soccer, but he fucking wish he had that Messi steez to tell Salt Bay to kick rocks, bro. That shit fucking killed me.
As I said, you YouTube famous. I'm real famous. You understand me? Get away from here, man. Yeah, agree. 100% agree. He told Salt Bay to get the fuck off of him, man. It was.
He's like, bitch, I'll show you what's salty. Fuck off.
Exactly. I'll season your meat. I dug what he actually did. I won't argue the Pele thing. I think, there's 2 arguments you can make with the Pele thing. One, you can say the rest of the world was not at the level that Brazil was at back in the 1950s when Pele was winning those World Cups. There were good players in other countries, of course, but there wasn't the amount of countries that are now that have come along. Just like we see with the Women's World Cup, a lot of countries have caught up to the United States. So them winning World Cups, I think, has much more power now than it did back then. You're seeing the same thing now. A lot, like Africa wasn't even a consideration in the World Cup back in the 1950s. And you're seeing how they've come on as a soccer power, as a football power. So for me, I think the Pele was the GOAT of his time. Messi is the GOAT of our time. And yes, I take Messi even over Maradona because he doesn't have a hand of God, a goal that he did in a World Cup game to kind of stain his legacy, or the drugs or the steroids that he did, or all of that shit that he did. Messi is a much more composed player, and I think he's the GOAT over Maradona, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So, all right. Anything else you want to say, brother man?
The only other thing, I don't know if this is true, but MK Songbird says the Eagles QB and MVP candidate Jalen Hurts is uncertain to play Sunday versus Cowboys due to a sprained shoulder he suffered during Sunday's win over the Bears.
Wow.
2 things. I would rather beat a Hurts-led team because that says something. If you beat the backup, that's not the same. And you don't necessarily have the same confidence. But then the other part of that look, man, if the Eagles are gonna lose, like if their whole shtick is gonna be like done for the year, I want them to lose at their best. I don't want them losing because you had to plug somebody else in, bro.
Fair point. We shall see. All right, we didn't get any Streamlabs this whole show, so unfortunately we've run out of time here. If you wanted to send something in, but if you want to put a thanks or send something in, you can always find the Streamlabs address in the description of this video here and send something in as a thank you for us doing the show. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Last minute story. The Packers just released Sammy Watkins before the Monday Night Football game. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, Sammy, he was good for a while and now just kind of surplus needs. And if the Packers are releasing you who are desperate for receivers, that speaks volumes. And there also might have been some issues between Sammy and Aaron. Who knows what the situation is? I'll take a look at it for sure. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. Be well. Thanks so much for joining us. And Winston A. Marshall, where can they find you and all your fine work, my friend?
At the Swaggy Blurred on all platforms. Please go over to TikTok and Instagram and give me some love over on there. Like I said, I'm dropping a plethora of sports victims units as a catch up. Again, I thank you for your patience. I just had a lot of stuff going on, so should be all caught up by Wednesday at the latest, but probably by tomorrow. And then we will be able to ride into the last couple games of the season and the playoffs. So
the playoffs, which are going to be a lot of fun for sure, brother. All right, and as for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. What else? Oh, and please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Please, trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers. Give us some love. Even if you can't send in the support financially, we know it's Christmas, money is tight, but definitely subscribe, give us a like, leave a comment. tweet out the show, because let people know we're doing the show here on the Game Time Sports Channel. Get our interactions up. We would really appreciate it very much. And look for more content coming now that the Premier League is coming back. I'm certainly going to be doing a Liverpool show here on the channel for sure to cover their games and what's going on. Maybe even after their games, hopping on for about 20 minutes, giving my thoughts overall. So look for all that content. And of course, as we get into playoffs, we're going to have more and more stuff going on for sure. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. We love you madly. And we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode here of Game Time. Have a good week.